Hey everyone, it's Amber Williams here, founder and CEO of Punky Flair, where I help young brands uncover the stories they have that sell. Listen, I know it's Saturday and I usually do not go live on Saturdays. I'm just chilling here with my daughter, but I had something on my mind and I just had to share it. So it all stems from my experience in trying to get my hands on Fenty Beauty's Stunna lip paint. So this lip paint was so hyped up, just flawless branding, flawless, brand launch by Fenty Beauty. Kudos to you if you're watching. And so it was sold out everywhere. Like before Christmas, I was trying to get it. I couldn't find it. I was going to different Sephoras. Everywhere was sold out of Stunna lip paint, which was their universal red matte lip paint. And finally, my friend was going to the mall. This was I think a couple weeks ago. She was going to the mall and she mentioned to me that she was going to hit Sephora. So I was like, listen, can you please get me Stunna lip paint? I will cash app you the money. I have got to get my hands on this universal red. And so she got it for me. And when I finally got my hands on it and I put it on, the packaging was awesome. The actual lip applicator was super duper, just unique. But the color, not universal for me. Definitely not my best red. And I was so excited because listen, this is a universal red. It's going to look amazing on everybody, no matter what your skin tone is, no matter what the shape of your lips are, this red is going to look amazing on you. And I am here to say boldly that Stunna lip paint was not universal for me. And so it made me think about brands and why we feel like we have to be all things to all people, right? Why do you feel like you have to have a universal brand or a universal product? There's no such thing. You cannot do that. Marketing rule number one is you cannot be all things to all people. And you have a greater chance of success if you hyper-focus your brand, your products, and your marketing on serving the people that you're here to serve, rather than trying to cast this wide net on the whole world. Because once you make those claims, listen, I'm holding you to a high standard. You're up here. You said it's a universal red. I'm thinking it's going to look bomb on me, my daughter, everybody under the sun, because you've set it up that way. And it's just not true. No one can fulfill that. And so, I just want to give you a few tips to think about, as you work on your own brand communication. Maybe you're launching a new brand and you're trying to figure out if the customers that you are trying to target are going to be enough to sustain a brand, to make you enough money. And I want to tell you that whoever you want to target is enough. And one of the brands that comes to mind when I think about this idea is Peach and Lily. So Peach and Lily is a retailer that prides itself on Korean skincare. And they have a huge assortment of beauty products, from skincare to makeup to everything in between. But Peach and Lily is for Korean women. And they are unapologetic about that. If I could leave you with one thing from this live, it's be unapologetic about your target customer, okay? So don't be afraid to speak to who you created your company for. Don't be afraid to do that. Why do we do that? Why do we think that we need to talk to everybody in order to have a successful company? You don't. That's the surefire way to, number one, get knocked off, and then to, number two, not resonate with anyone in particular. Okay, so back to Peach and Lily. So Peach and Lily I'm subscribed to their email list, and, you know, I'm a Black woman. You know, I buy their products and I'm a Black woman, right? So they did not, you know, exclude me from the company by focusing on Korean women or being unapologetic about that in their branding. By the way, this is Kate and Ari, who is going to be joining us. You know, so, and when I go on the Peach and Lily website, you know, I'm just so happy to see that they have stayed true to who they are, you know, from their messaging to their imagery. There are Korean women in all of their ads on all of their products. You know, there is a Ask Lily program with a Korean woman as the face of that. Everything is targeted toward Korean women, and they are unapologetic about that. And guess where that has gotten them, guys? They're not pigeonholed into beauty just for Korean women. They've gotten like nationwide attention. Like they've been featured in the Wall Street Journal. And she likes that. In Vogue magazine, in Allure, W, Glamour, like they're everywhere, right? Like they're everywhere. And they did that. They attained that level of success by being unapologetic about who they were targeting. And just because they were targeting Korean women, it didn't mean that other women who could relate to some of the problems that these Korean women were facing when it comes to beauty, it didn't mean that we wouldn't buy from the brand, right? Like it didn't cut us off. There wasn't like a pay gate that said, if you're not Korean, you can't buy our products. No, they just knew exactly who they were solving a problem for, and they went after that market full force. And I wish I saw more companies doing that, because you would be able to succeed. You'd be able to see, you know, just how successful that strategy can be. Hyper focused target marketing. And so, you know, being unapologetic is the first thing that I think every brand should do as they come out the gate at launch, as they start to really refine their story and, you know, figure out who they're talking to. You know, a lot of times I work with a lot of beauty brands, and a lot of times we have this fear that we are going to limit ourselves, right? Like, and I'll be honest, like a lot of Black women tend to do this. Like we don't want to have a brand that just targets Black women because we don't want to limit our brand. Well, let me tell you something. The buying power of the Black woman is in the billions. Like if you consider that to be limiting in any way, like you need to go take another math class. Like you can make so much money targeting Black women, because we have a lot of money to spend. Our propensity to buy beauty is huge. And so whoever your target customer is, I want you to research and figure out exactly how powerful that audience is. Because overlooking their power or overlooking the potential result of being specific to them, I think is a mistake, you know, from a marketing standpoint. And so consider that. Consider being unapologetic about who your brand is here for. And then my second thing that I want to tell you guys is to watch your claims. Like make a promise that you can keep. Okay? Make a promise that you can keep, that people are not going to come and challenge you on later, or that you're not going to receive a ton of backlash about, right? My daughter's like falling asleep. I hope I'm not boring you guys. But that's where Fenty Beauty got in trouble, right? At least with me. That's where they're in trouble with me for that Stunna lip paint, because they claim to have a universal red. And the reality is nothing can be universal. And so that's not a promise that they kept. You can't keep it, right? There is no universal brand. There is no universal product. And so consider what your own brand promise is. When someone buys your products, when someone joins your community, what is your promise to them? It should be broad enough for you to be able to hold it up, but it should be specific enough to target the emotional needs of who your brand is for, right? So a brand promise, for example, is Apple, right? I know this may sound cliche, but one of my favorite brands of all time is Apple. And their promise is 2 words: think different. That's it. Like, that's their brand promise. When you buy into Apple, you're going to think different. And it's true. When I first got my my MacBook in grad school, I was like, oh, I'm a boss. I'm a creative. Like, I can do anything. I'm kind of thinking differently. Like, what can I do now with a computer? The same thing as the brand innovated throughout the years. That's their only promise: think different. And so what is your brand promise? What can you guarantee your customers? Is it a way of thinking? Is it a renewed feeling that they're going to have? That's always a good route to promise confidence or to promise ability or anything like that. Consider what your own brand promise is and be careful with the claim. Like, a brand promise is better when it's met than a brand promise that is so out there and so universal, way above expectations, and then you can't meet it. Like, the former is better, trust me. So I hope you guys think about that. I'm really, really passionate about this idea of having a specific brand for a specific group of people. And I have a new ebook called Who Are You Talking To? And it is coming out next week. And I'm really excited to share it with you guys because it's going to help you dig into who your customers are and figure out how you can create your messaging in different places on your website, in your social media, and even in some of your product descriptions, how you can take this messaging and really, really, really appeal to who your customer is, right? So again, being unapologetic about that, and then making a promise that those people are going to respect you for because you can fulfill it. So that's all I have to talk about today. Kaden says good night. It's her bedtime. And I'll chat with you guys later. Leave a comment and let me know what you guys think about Stunna lip paint, or what you think about any brand that just claims to be for everybody. I know it's my pet peeve, but maybe you haven't really thought about it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Talk soon. Bye.